What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my anxiety and things that I have been dealing with and the steps that I'm taking to help deal with these issues that I'm having. So if you want to see that in this video, just keep on watching. First things first, let me just give you a little background on kind of what's been going on for the past few months in my life. So let's see. I accepted a job offer in April. I accepted a job offer in April. I ended up going to Nashville for the job in May. Came back June 5th. I lost my cousin, who was only 18. And that took a really big toll on me. And let's see, after that, I started having some really serious health issues that lasted for, the main part of that lasted for about 2 months. And then there's still some things that I'm dealing with. But that lasted for 2 months. So it's June, July, August, and now it's my mother's wedding day. My mother got married August 8th. And so those are some of the things that I was dealing with. And I know those things don't sound terrible. All of them don't sound terrible. I know. I get it. But then, not to mention that on the job, I felt like I was being bullied, or I'm trying not to put this in a horrible way. I don't want it to sound bad because it's a work there. I felt like my supervisor was being borderline sexist, and I won't go into all the details about that, but anyway, so those were kind of some of the things that I was dealing with. So from losing my cousin to having some health issues to my mom being married, who my mom is like my best friend. I'm so happy for her that she's married and she's happy. But if you think about it, it's kind of like, in my mind, the way that I was processing this is that I'm losing what is like my best friend. So all these things toppled up on top of each other is, it's very emotional. So with all those emotions, happy, sad, frustrated, things like that, those things kind of just stack on top of each other. And with that, the anxiety starts to become more prevalent. I've always had things like this. I've always been a person to kind of overthink things, things like that. Let's see, when I was younger, I was bullied. I would sometimes isolate myself, and shout out to my auntie. She used to babysit me when I was little, and she would always just kind of check in on me to see how I'm doing. She would just yell in the room and kind of say, "What are you doing in there? Why are you by yourself?" But you don't really know what these things are or try to address them because you don't. And I don't know if this is in like certain things you just don't talk about, or you don't, because you feel a certain kind of way, you don't want to let your emotions out or let people see how you really feel in certain situations. So with that being said, those are kind of the things that were kind of just toppled on top of each other. of things that have caused a major, emotional breakdown, to where I've kind of, been a little more moody and a little bit more, to myself, and not really wanting to open up. Not really wanting to go outside. It's a big stretch for me to even get up when I get into this funk. It's kind of what you can call it. It's just like a funk, and it's hard to get out of, but you just really have to just like deal with it. So some of the things that help me identify sometimes when I'm having an anxiety attack, or my anxiety is building, or sometimes I could just be thinking of something, and I do have heart race. Like, my heart starts to race on certain things that I think about. Also, if I sometimes I can catch it and sometimes I don't, but my jaw will get really clenched, like, just clenched, and I could be just working on the computer or doing something like that, and it's just really tense, or like my shoulders get really tense, and it's just all my muscles are really tense just because I have so much anxiety and nowhere for it to go. And some of these things, I know these things are, can correlate with other people, but these are just, for me, these things, are some of the things that I've noticed with my anxiety. And sometimes I'm a very self-conscious person, so sometimes people may not understand that, so they can say certain things and they can mean it one way, and to me, because I'm self-conscious about a certain thing, it will make me think of that. It will make me think that that's what they're talking about, or that's what they mean when they say that to me, when it could be just something that, they said, and it could be something that they thought wasn't a big issue, but for me, because I'm self-conscious about a certain thing, it triggers some anxiety, or I feel like people are judging me or looking at me in a certain way, if that makes sense. Also, this is another thing that can trigger anxiety, which is a traumatic event. So my cousin passing away is a traumatic event, and not really dealing with it, I just kind of got over it, if that makes sense. I didn't really go through it. Like, I went through the motions, but it wasn't anything that, there was no healing in that process, if you understand what I'm saying. So I really wasn't trying to make this video this long, so some of the things that can help me and other people deal with their anxiety, and I know it sounds really cliche, but a balanced diet really helps deal with it. Like I said, I've been dealing with this for a while. It's not something that's new. What's new is the funk that I'm in, that I'm trying to reel myself out of. So things that I'm trying to use to help me with this is eating a better diet, and really just dealing with it, dealing with the anxiety, dealing with things that trigger my anxiety, and not just holding it in or just kind of pushing it to the side. Making a YouTube video all about it, and making sure that that I'm not just harboring it, and it feels like, you know, it's just something that I have to go through, because it's a part of life, and it's something that I have to go through alone. So I've been trying to make an effort to help with all of these things. And I hope this makes sense for some people, because I understand that all those things weren't like horrible things. Getting a new job isn't a horrible thing. My mom getting married isn't a horrible thing, but it's just a mesh of emotions that comes with all of those things. So, and then they're just stacked on top of each other. And if you don't have enough time to sort out your feelings about certain things, that's when the anxiety comes into place. And sometimes even depression. Those anxiety and depression sometimes go hand in hand. So I actually want to do a part 2 to this video, which would be to talk about how family and friends could help people with anxiety cope better, instead of just saying, oh, she's fine, or, you know, she's just lazy, and things like that. Because I'm not a lazy person, but sometimes having anxiety is a good day is just staying in bed and not having to deal with the world, honestly. And I don't want to be like that, but sometimes it's hard when you're trying to get through something and you don't talk about it with anybody, so you kind of feel like you're alone. But so if you are interested in a part 2 to this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section that you want to see a part 2, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.